Is this working, or should I use
the? Working.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna
leave it there. Perfect. Thank you. Cool. Welcome everyone to Zero Expo 2022. Super excited to have you here. Appreciate everyone coming out. I know a lot of folks came in from different parts of the country, different parts of the globe, and it really means a lot to have you here with us. So we are going to talk a little bit about 0x, but the purpose of this event is more so to talk about our vision, our shared vision for the future of blockchains. And why are we working on any of this in the first place? Why is any of this important? And there's some good reasons why we're working on this. So since 2016, our vision for blockchain technology has been that it'll be used as a way to tokenize all forms of value. So traditional assets like stocks, bonds, startup equity. So we have Angel Block here who's focusing on that problem. All the way to more abstract forms of value like NFTs or video game items, airline miles, and beyond. And we think that if all forms of value are tokenized and available on public blockchains, that we have an opportunity to create a new, more equitable, more accessible global financial system. And this is important because human potential is definitely evenly distributed, but opportunity is not. And so one of the things that we are focused on at 0x Labs, and I think this is a shared value across many different teams in the blockchain space, is to chip away at what we call the geographic lottery, where someone's opportunity in life primarily boils down to where they happen to be born, and none of us control that. So with blockchain technology, tokenization of assets, we have an opportunity to leave the geographic lottery behind and create a more equitable financial system. So how are we addressing this? 0x Labs focus on building exchange infrastructure and solutions for a tokenized world. So what does the potential impact of tokenization look like over the next few decades? We talked a little bit about creating a global financial system. It's all very exciting, but ultimately we think this technology has the potential to create an impact as large as or bigger than the internet has had over the last 30 years. And so not sure how old all the folks here are. I'm a little over 30, but even within my own lifetime, we have seen the world completely change due to the internet and its advancement. And we think that in the same way the internet has democratized access to information, we think that public blockchains and tokenization can democratize access to financial services and markets. And so just to put it in perspective, when I was young, and probably true for a lot of folks here, if you wanted to find a piece of information, you would have to go to a public library and ask the librarian to help you find the right book, and that's how you could find information. With the transition to computers, personal computers, it became possible for folks to have a copy of the encyclopedia in their very own home, a digital copy. And so I remember in 1995, my father had a home computer with a piece of software called Encarta. And it made it possible for us to have access to a much broader set of information within our own home. So we no longer had to go to the library. But with the emergence of the internet, it has completely changed the world. And now, everyone with access to the internet has access to all human knowledge practically at their fingertips, with things like Wikipedia, with social networks, with Napster, Spotify. And so over this 30-year period, the amount of change that has occurred is massive. But we think that blockchains and tokenization are going to have as big of an impact, if not more, over the next few decades. All right, and so why is it important for us to build open financial infrastructure or platforms that are decentralized It's because platform risk. In order to build a truly open global financial system, we need financial infrastructure that is permissionless, that is neutral, and that anyone can access. And so if you look at some of the massive companies that have emerged in Web 2.0, Twitter, Facebook, Google, and way beyond, as this quote here states from Ollie at A16Z, at any time, without warning and almost entirely on their own terms, these Web 2.0 companies can change anything underneath you, and entire startups can be completely wiped out overnight. And the same thing can happen in the financial system if the financial system is built on private rails. So it's extremely important that all of the infrastructure that is built on top of public blockchains is permissionless, it's accessible, and neutral. And so that's why we started building 0x Protocol in 2016. So 0x Protocol is intended to serve as a public good infrastructure for exchanging tokenized value. And so all trades that go through 0x Protocol go through a system of smart contracts that's community owned and managed. And yeah, as Brian mentioned, to date, over $180 billion of volume has gone through the 0x Protocol smart contracts. So last Zero Expo, which was before COVID, a few years back, we asked what is going to be tokenized in the next 10 years. And there are a wide variety of verticals where tokenization can play a role, from cryptocurrencies that we know and love, like Bitcoin and beyond, all the way to traditional assets, internet communities. We're starting to see now with Reddit having NFT avatars and community points. Prediction markets. We're starting to see traction in prediction markets with products like Polymarket, and digital collectibles and NFTs. There's going to be, hundreds of billions of these within the next few years, and we're well on the way already. So the focus of Zero Expo and this talk is to dive into this mega trend of tokenization, and we're going to dig in, but we're going to start at the very beginning. So where did all of this begin? Everything started with Bitcoin. So probably a lot of folks already know this, but Bitcoin was launched following the global financial crisis in 2008. And if you look at the first Bitcoin block, it has a headline that refers to the global financial crisis. And it is a direct answer to that event. And so Bitcoin represents different things to different people. It's an internet currency, it's a store of value, a medium of exchange. But also, really importantly, Bitcoin represents a mechanism to opt out of the existing financial system. And for a lot of us who live in the United States or other countries, we don't necessarily need to opt out. But for many people in different parts of the world, their entire kind of financial livelihood can hinge on the policies or the decisions made by their government. And governments are made up of humans. Humans are complex and flawed, and sometimes they don't always make the best decisions on behalf of their citizens. So Bitcoin provides an alternative for folks that need a way to protect their livelihood and to opt out of what could be a flawed economic system. So in 2014, I believe at a Bitcoin conference in Miami, Vitalik introduced Ethereum to the world. And one of the things or a few of the things that motivated Vitalik to start working on Ethereum were a number of other projects that came before it. So Namecoin was a way of, somewhat similar to ENS. There were, on Bitcoin, there were things called colored coins. So it's basically tokens that sit on top of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin wasn't necessarily designed for colored coins. So these weren't necessarily as useful or as flexible as they could be. And so with Ethereum, we basically established a substrate for tokens and markets, and that's globally accessible, and that also allows for much more rich contracts and financial applications. And it took a few years, but around 2017, we started to see some of the first decentralized finance applications form on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So we started to see decentralized exchange projects like ourselves, like Uniswap and Curve. We started to see stable coins like USDC and DAI, as well as others. And over this, this period of time from 2017 until now, DeFi has completely exploded. It went from practically non-existent in dollar terms to now being over $100 billion in capital that is participating or locked up in the DeFi space. And one thing that's worth noting is that at the very first Zero Expo, the very same day as the first expo, DeFi hit $1 billion in total value locked. And it was very exciting. We celebrated. And while it might feel like the crypto space is in a down period and markets aren't as exciting, maybe there's less usage, it's important to look back at how much progress has been made over the years that have passed between the first Zero Expo and today. There is 100x growth. And even though it might feel like things aren't as exciting as they were 6 months ago, it's important to recognize just how far we've come. Another exciting trend within the crypto space has been the emergence of digital collectibles and NFTs. So this is a space that has gotten a lot of attention recently. We're starting to see some of the largest technology companies in the world get into the NFT space and start to recognize the potential that this holds. But NFTs aren't a recent phenomenon. They've been slowly developing, and there have been a number of projects that have been working with NFTs over the years, going all the way back to Ethereum Name Service in 2017. CryptoPunks was one of the first NFT projects on top of Ethereum. In fact, they were so early that they didn't even have the NFT token standard on which to build. So CryptoPunks actually aren't NFTs in the traditional sense, and we actually have to wrap them in an ERC 721 token in order to treat them like other NFTs that we have today. So the space has come incredibly far. We're just seeing a glimpse of the potential that this space holds, and over the next years, it's going to be I think it's going to be a lot bigger than it is today. Another area where we're going to see a lot of growth over the following years is in the area of decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. And DAOs are a way to get a group of people together with shared values in a shared pool of resources and to work towards a common goal or mission. And so the very first DAO that was developed on top of Ethereum was the infamous The DAO. And the DAO hack sent ripples through the entire space. Approximately 10% of all Ether in existence was drained out of the DAO in a massive hack in mid-2016. Fortunately, DAOs have come a long way. We have much better tooling for DAOs. And we're just starting to see adoption grow faster than would have been possible before. But it's just the tip of the iceberg. We're just getting started. There are going to be DAOs for all types of different communities. You can think about any internet community that exists today, potentially having a way for those community members to organize and to work towards a shared vision using something like a DAO. And one of the things that DAOs offer that is related to tokenization is governance tokens. And so governance tokens are one of the many areas where we think tokenization is going to continue to grow momentum over the years. Now, one of the exciting things that we have seen over the last 2 years is Ethereum has finally found product market fit. There are so many people that want to use applications built on top of Ethereum that it's become expensive to use the Ethereum blockchain. During some periods of congestion, it can cost 50 to 100 or even more US dollars to complete one transaction. This is a really good thing because it shows there's a lot of demand for the apps built on top of Ethereum. Of course, it's also a bad thing because it really prices out a ton of different use cases as well as different user segments across the world from taking advantage of Ethereum. And so as we found product market fit, as the cost of using Ethereum has grown, we've seen users and developers spill over into other blockchain ecosystems. So Polygon, BSC, layer 2s like Optimism and Arbitrum. And it's been extremely exciting because this has grown the number of users that can take advantage of blockchain technology. It has created opportunities for use cases that maybe have been priced out of being built on top of Ethereum. But it's also created a ton of technical complexity. So now, every single blockchain has many different decentralized exchanges. There are many different bridges, and each ecosystem has potentially different users. And so at 0x, one of our core focuses is to eliminate this complexity of accessing decentralized exchange markets or tokens across all layers of the exchange stack. And so now I'll just talk a little bit about our products. So we have Matcha. Hopefully everyone here has been able to check it out. Matcha is the search engine for tokens and liquidity. You can check it out at matcha.xyz. We have a very special sneak peek a little bit later today of some features that are going to be coming into Matcha in a redesign. So check that out. We also have 0x Explorer as well as 0x API. 0x API is a API endpoint that aggregates all the different sources of decentralized exchange liquidity, and it allows developers to build some of the most compelling products that are out there in the crypto space today. So if you've ever traded through a crypto wallet or a portfolio management application or many other decentralized applications, you've probably used 0x without realizing it. So 0x API is powering all of the top wallets and all of the top crypto applications that are out there today. And we feel very fortunate to have a lot of our partners here at this event today. And yeah. All right, that's it from me. Thank you everyone again for coming out, spending the day at Crossroads. If you're going to be participating in the hackathon, ETHSF tomorrow, this is a great place for you to meet other folks that might be hacking as well, forum groups. If you want to talk with someone from the 0x Labs team, come up and say hello. We're here to hang out. Connect with us on Twitter, and that's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.